G'day. So, people have asked me, how do I turn glass bottles into lovely glass cups? It's quite easy. First thing you need, obviously, a glass bottle. Then I would recommend having a scoring tool, I guess you call it. It's one of the important things for getting a good straight edge on your cut. You also need either a kettle or a stove with a pot of water on there, and you'll also need some cold water. That's all that you need to actually cut the glass, but then you also need some sandpaper to smooth the edges. I'll show you how it's done. Okay, first things first, you need to decide whereabouts you want it to be cut. Then you need to adjust your scoring tool to the length that is needed. So do that, just loosen that nut off. Now I want to cut it about there. Okay. And then do this little nut up to hold it in place. You'll also need to adjust the width of these parts. This is already set for this bottle. Next, you're going to need to make sure that there's no stickers where you're going to be cutting. If I wanted to cut it down here, I would need to remove that sticker before trying to score it. Okay, so to score it, you need to apply firm pressure downwards, and you should be able to hear it as you're turning it. And you should be able to hear and feel once it gets all the way around. Double check it. That looks like it should work quite well. Set that aside and give you a different angle. Very good. Next thing you want to do is set up your stove or kettle. Get that water boiling. This is cold water. This will be my hot water. Okay, so our water's boiling. I'll turn that down a bit now. Now comes the fun part. Part where we get to break some glass. So, first things first, you want to slowly warm up the glass where that score mark is. Get it fairly hot. And before it cools down, quickly come over to the cold and pour cold water over that score mark. And I can see that it's already just about cracked all the way around. shouldn't take too much. Just repeat the process and Bob's your uncle. Look at that. Now, there are a couple of little protrusions, but that can be sanded down later. You can do many different shaped bottles. Some bottles are harder than others. These ones I find, well, the hardest that I've done so far because of the taper. So try different bottles, see how you go. Alright, so these sparkling grape juice bottles worked quite well. One of these bottles works alright. The other one, you can see it went crooked. I've got a crack going down there. But I'm not going to throw that out, because instead of making a large glass, I'm going to rescore it and make a smaller glass. Still a good sized glass, but not a grand sized glass. I like this glass. It's nice and thick, so I don't want to go wasting it. Alright, so sometimes you don't get success. I got a nice big crack running all the way down, so that one's a lost cause. This one, however, I got that part off. As you can see, there's still a bit left on there that doesn't like coming off with the heating method. But what you can do, got a little shifting spanner here. You can get it to the same width as the glass. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can pick off these little bits and save it. Look at that. Now, it does go without saying, but you are dealing with glass, so be careful, because glass, when it's broken, is sharp. Also, dealing with hot substances, hot water, boiling water, you have to be careful. But glass is cut, so time to go and finish it. Alright, to finish these edges, I use this electric polisher buffing machine with a sanding pad on it. The grit that I'm using is 60 grit, but it's been worn down, so perhaps 80 or 100, 120 grit to start off with is probably a good level. And as you sand it, I usually try and keep one side on and the back side slightly off, and just keep rotating it around. Now you can start to see along the edges that it's smoothing some of that down, but you can still see a lot of irregularities, so we'll continue sanding. Alright, so that top edge is all nice and smooth, but I still have a sharp edge around the outside and also on the inside. So what I do, I'll sand it rotating round and round on an angle like that, and gradually up so that it's a nice beveled edge, nice and smooth, and then have to hand sand the inside edge. Alright, so sanding this top edge, 120 grit sandpaper I have. I'm going to go around bit by bit, making sure that you don't scratch the main surface of the glass. But just working on that corner edge. All the way around. And you'll have to do it a number of times, but each time check how the progress is going. Make sure that there's no little chips or cracks in the glass as you go around. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, try not to breathe in the dust, because it is glass, it's not good for your health. Yeah, this one's just about done. Give it a quick inspection all the way around. Then just needs to be cleaned up and good to go. So there you go. That's how you turn bottles to your very own personalised cups. Cheers.